Oh, good morning. Welcome to our Sunday live Dharma. My name is Paul. I live in Utah, and I'm grateful for the stream because that's how I usually am able to join in. I'm here with my daughters, Esther, who's 17, and Sophia, who's 12. And they're going to start this morning by playing an arrangement of Air on the G string as a violin duet. Thank you. I and my family have been blessed by knowing and learning from Reverend WontempleNC for 32 years. I first met her in Korea so many years ago when I was just a teenager. I'm so grateful for everything that I've learned and everything that I have, all of the ways that I've been healed by Reverend WontempleNC over the years. Thank you. Today, Reverend WontempleNC will be sharing a Dharma Talk, which is a travelogue from the recent Kyomunim's retreat in New York. So let us now loosen any tension and prepare ourselves for a sitting meditation. Please stand to join the Qi Gong exercises led by Kathleen.
Morning. Good morning, friends at home. Our space, wherever we are, is just filled with beautiful music right now. So let's take a deep breath in and just release it and feel that beauty. Now, let's spread our feet apart, sink into our feet. Find your perfect balance, effortless effort. Take a breath in, breathe in the universe, and come down, sinking into your knees. Breathing in, releasing and sinking. Last time. Now we're going to be flying through the universe. Imagine you're a beautiful big bird in the air. Bring your arms up, but this time out. Feel the energy coming through your fingers. Take a breath in, release down. Feel your wings pointing to the earth. Lots of energy from your fingers. Breathe in. As you release, bring your hands to your back like this. Arch. And as you breathe out, bring your hands forward. The backs of your hands, feel like your back is being pulled. Let's do them all together. Breathe in. Release. Breathe in. Breathe in. So as we move, feel your breath and your body being one. Sink in. One more time. Bring your hands down. In a similar movement, we're now going to become like tiny hummingbirds. So keep one foot forward, and with another foot, step out a little bit. Find that balance spot. And we're going to breathe in and bring our arms to the back, and similar, the backs of our hands coming together. And breathe out. So breathing in, wings forward, breathe out. 2 more times. Now, we're going to move with our whole bodies. So keeping our torsos upright. When we breathe in, we're going to move forward. Torsos up. Just your hips are gliding back and forth. Breathing in and out. 2 more times. Let's switch sides. 1 foot forward, 1 the other direction. Forward. Our torsos are just staying still for the first few times. Breathing in, arms go forward and back. Forward and back. And now we're going to glide forward, torso erect, hips gliding. Breathing in, release. One more time. Let's come back to our original position, toes in front of us. We're going to do a gentle movement with our head. So we breathe in, turn to one side, and then lean back a little bit for an extra stretch. Back to center. Turn. Look back. Back to center. Let's do it with our breath. Breathing in. Now let's do circles with our heads. Breathing in, slowly coming up. Let your jaw open at the top. And breathing out. Coming back. Other direction. One more time on each side. Let's look at our feet for a minute. Let's just do circles with your ankle in one direction a couple times, the other direction, other foot, one direction, other direction. Okay, now we're basically going to do the same thing, but instead of thinking of your ankles drawing circles, think of your knees drawing circles. See what happens. If my knee draws a circle, oh, feels a little different. Other direction. Other side. Other direction. And now let's end as we began, taking a breath in, breathing in, release. Breathing in, release. Let's put our feet together and do the same thing. Feel how centered we are. Breathing in, release. Breathing in, palms together, down to heart center. Now please join in 4 bows to the fourfold grace. You can do standing bows or full kneeling down bows. Please move behind your seat. Your cushion, so you have cushion for your knees.
With gratitude, I bow to the grace, infinite source of marvelous existence. With gratitude, I bow to the grace of parents, ancestors, and everyone who has given me life and nurtured me. With gratitude, I bow to the grace of fellow beings, embracing the truth of interconnectedness. With gratitude, I bow to the grace of laws, which guides us to develop justice and freedom through Dharma and universal principles. Meditation is simple and easy. Anyone can practice it. Please take time to find your most comfortable position and wiggle to release any tension in your body. Gently rock front to back or side to side until you find the point of perfect balance. Breathe in, grab all of your tension. Breathe out. Release any mental or physical uneasiness. Relax your whole body. It is okay to slouch a little bit if that feels more natural. Let your mind's eye focus on belly breathing. Breathe and listen to your body. If your body agrees, gradually sit up tall. Gently straighten your spine. Focus on the energy in your lower abdomen. You may start to feel your lower back growing stronger and your chest and heart opening. Open your eyes softly. Look straight ahead with a level gaze. Let your eyelids relax and softly align your ears with your shoulders. Tuck your chin in slightly and let your shoulders melt downwards. Enjoy the sensation of your arms and hands relaxing. If your face or body begins to itch, just let the itching pass. If your legs ache unbearably, you may change your position very slowly and quietly. When you move, maintain a calm stillness to honor the silent practice of those near you. When thoughts arise in your mind, do not be disturbed or react to them. When left alone, thoughts will disappear by themselves. Continue to bring your awareness back to your Danjon abiding breath. When your mind is calm, concentrated, perfectly focused, and at peace, you will rest in the realm of samadhi, deep meditation. You will no longer feel any distinction between yourself and others. You will be free from the limits of time and place. In our meditation, May our ever calm, ever bright spirit be with us.
Page 4. Yeongju. First read in English and then chant in Korean. Yeongju. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth settles in my being. My spirit penetrates all things as my mind wills. Heaven, earth, and I become one. I am one with the way of heaven and earth. Yeongju. 천지연기야 심정 만사여예야 심통 천지여와 동일체하여 천지동심정 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 천지연기야 심정 만사여예야 심통 천지여와 동일체하여 천지동심정. Palms together.
July prayer. In July, may we balance our energy between rest and activities. As the bright sun warms the earth and all its creatures, our minds and bodies feel invigorated with activity. As the hot days release their heat and ease into the summer evenings, our minds and bodies naturally release into relaxation and rest. In this circular rhythm of rest and activity, activity and rest, we experience the shifting balance of yin and yang energies. May our direct experience of these cycles help us to align our minds, bodies, and intentions with the rhythms of our planet and the universe. May this balance sustain us and be a foundation to our practice, both on the mat, off the mat, and in the world.
내 손길 닿는 곳, 내 발길 머무는 곳, 내 음성 메아리치는 곳, 내 마음 향하는 곳마다 우리 모두 다 함께 우리 모두 다 함께 성불재중 인연이 되어지다. I wish and pray sincerely and truly, where my hands touch the world, where my feet walk on the earth, where my voice echoes through the hills, and in all realms where my heart and mind reach, that we all together share a true affinity for attaining great enlightenment and for helping all living beings.
Ready, step back. You guys want to come in?
This morning, Reverend Wangong is sharing her Dharma Talk, A Trip to New York, Kyomunim's Travelogue. Let's practice deep listening as we welcome Reverend Wangong.
Every year, the ordained reverends of Won Buddhism gather in retreat at various locations around the world. This year, about 60 Kyomunims from South America, Canada, and the US had our annual meditation retreat and conference at the One Dharma Center in upstate New York. For me, this year's retreat was an interesting and adventurous one. The adventure began 2 weeks ago, right after our children's summer camp. With a flight delay from Raleigh, 6 hours after the scheduled departure, I found myself in the last row of a plane bound for LaGuardia. On the bumpy flight, I started to feel unwell. Once we arrived in New York, Reverend Jiang, Reverend Sean, and I took a taxi to the One Dharma Center, a 3-hour drive through rush hour traffic from New York City to One Dharma Center. Upon arrival that night, I had a headache and sore throat, and I did not sleep well. The next morning, in the middle of a silent meditation with all the other reverends, I felt nauseous and dizzy, so I decided to walk out quietly and get some fresh air. But after a few steps, thump, I passed out and hit the floor like a dead frog. Ribbit. Soon, the news of my collapse spread across the retreat campus. When I came to, I felt very weak but tested negative for COVID. All the reverends worried about my health, and about 15 of them stopped by from time to time to give acupuncture and acupressure treatments, as well as healing massages. Didn't I pick a good place to get sick? Compassionate care and grace from fellow beings is truly healing. It was amazing that each Kyomunim who offered a healing touch brought a unique, vital energy. I felt vulnerable, and tears often flowed while I received their loving care. Each session with them felt like a release of karmic blockage that had been compressed within me. When my energy level became strong enough, I was able to join community meals. At one meal, Venerable Chuksan-nim, the head Dharma master of Won Buddhism of the US, approached me with his bright smiles and said, "You are back now. Please take it easy and rest well. Your well-being is essential to Won Buddhist community." The way he looked into my eyes and how he said this uplifted my spirit. The powerful healing energy of his mere presence took me by surprise. I was grateful for all the attention I received, but regretted that I missed most of the retreat programs. At the beginning of every retreat I lead, I instruct participants to let go of their expectations. However, here at the Kyomunim's retreat, I realized that I had created my own expectations. I was looking forward to meditating with my colleagues, exploring Dharma with them, and hiking together. Because of my expectations, I was disappointed. But at the same time, I was deeply grateful to recover my health in such a loving, supportive community. And later, at my own pace, I was able to spend a good amount of time slowly walking in nature alone. Because of my weak energy, I had to walk slowly and mindfully. Walking slowly was part of my recovery and rehabilitation. These slow walks helped me experience that meditation is here now. In past Kyomunim's retreat, I usually walked fast with a sense of obligation to be on time. If I walked in late, I felt embarrassed for my tardiness. This time, I was simply present with my walking, free from the expectation of norms. I let go of reaching a destination at a set time. There were many tiny wildflowers across the meadows at the retreat center. Each one seemed to smile and wave at me when I walked by. A mantra arose in my heart. Nature is healing. Nature is healing. Throughout this healing journey, I felt more connected with the grace of nature and the grace of fellow beings. The principle of indebtedness to fellow beings is described in one Buddhist scripture like this. If we wish most easily to understand the grace we have received from fellow beings, we must first consider whether we could live alone in a place that has no people, no animals, and no plants. Anyone could acknowledge that this is not possible. If we cannot live without the help of fellow beings and the provisions supplied by fellow beings, where would there be a grace greater than that? After the Kyomunim's retreat, we had conference meetings for 2 days. The main discussion themes were how to successfully share one Dharma in the Americas, how to formulate regulations for ordained and lay teachers in the US, what the limitations and hopes for the Kyohadan practice communities in One Buddhism, merging the Berkeley and San Francisco temples into a single, stronger Dharma community. On the last day of the conference, I was honored to be a presenter for the topic, Secret Sauce for Successfully Spreading One Dharma in North America. My presentation was well received. Based upon my experience in North Carolina, I shared 15 aspects that can help spread one Dharma in North America. After the presentation, some Kyomunim said that my eyes were sparkling and I looked fully recovered. I expressed my gratitude to all the Kyomunims for their healing support, which graced me with the energy necessary to make my contribution. I also realized that behind my presentation, here in our community in North Carolina and beyond, you had my back. Your sincere practice holds down the fort, which allows me to share the vibrancy of our temple's practice with a great joy and confidence. This gave hope to other reverends and was encouraging for the future of Won Buddhism in North America. At the end of our conference, we also had a Q&A time with the Venerable Chun San-nim, the head Dharma master of worldwide Won Buddhism, who was visiting from Korea. Then, Reverend Joy, who is one of the most delightful reverends at One Dharma Center, drove us to LaGuardia Airport, another 3-hour trip. Through pouring rain, she drove and sang to us. We stopped at a McDonald's parking lot to enjoy the lunch she had kindly packed for us. It was yummy and felt like a happy picnic meal. As soon as we were dropped off at the airport, we learned that our flight back to North Carolina had been canceled. In fact, most of the flight from the New York area had been canceled. We are told that the next available flight would be in 3 days. So we decided to go to the Manhattan Temple for an overnight stay. Meanwhile, Reverend Sean desperately searched for a rental car to drive home. The Manhattan Temple is located on 57th Street in the middle of the city. Nearby, there was a tiny park where people walked their dogs. But everywhere else, all we could see were tall buildings. No trees, just a forest of buildings everywhere. In no time, I realized that I truly am a simple country girl who prefers to be in nature. In the middle of Manhattan, the air is polluted and the city noise is incessant. I feel a great respect for those who live and work in this difficult environment. My great admiration goes to Reverend Park, who works at the Manhattan Temple. She plays several significant roles there. She is a Buddhist chaplain at Columbia and New York universities, a representative of Won Buddhism to the United Nations as a religious NGO, the president of the Buddhist Council of New York, and she manages the Won Buddhism Now YouTube channel. After one night's rest at the Manhattan Temple, we took a taxi to a car rental place. After waiting for a while, we finally got a car. Rental cars in New York City were very scarce, so some people in line cheered for our success. During our time in Manhattan, we are joined by Mr. Choi, a lay representative of Won Buddhism in the US, whose flight home to Miami had also been canceled. Once we had the rental car, he insisted on treating us to a traditional Korean breakfast. Driving through the Times Square, we went to a street full of Korean businesses and restaurants. After a good breakfast, we departed New York around 9:30 and arrived home 12 hours later. Home, sweet home. There is no place like it. My retreat trip to New York included drama and trauma, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Airport meditation is not easy, especially when you are not feeling well. But in the midst of trouble and trial, grace arose from harm. Grace arose from harm again and again. I had many opportunities to reality check my level of equanimity. the whole trip became a trip of mind practice. Dear friends, do you feel as if your life is sometimes like my journey? My trip to New York can be a microcosm of my experience as we move through life. What expectations do you have? What challenges arise? Who helps us, and how do we learn to rely on grace to buoy us up, to heal us, and to move us forward? We know in the blessing of a community, we receive and we give. We give and we receive grace.
Example, grace is just floating around here at the moment. The thing about Reverend Gong's Dharma Talk is there are all these beautiful examples, and yet it seemed like releasing expectations is what opened the door to all these graces percolating up from fellow beings. So let's ponder that for a minute. And friends at home, if you'd like to share your reflections in the live chat, please do so, or you're welcome just to take a quiet moment to continue reflecting. Friends here in the Dharma Hall, this is a chance to pair up and share your own reflections and experiences with each other.
Hi, my name is Anthony, and these are my sons, Bowden, Creston, and Adam. And we want to thank you for practicing with us today. And we have a few closing messages. Bodhi, do you want to start?
Yeah. Today at 5 p.m., our sister temple in Raleigh is hosting an evening meditation. It's a lovely way to end the day and start the week. Please join if you are able. Dad, did you know that when Master Sote-san was born in 1891, the population of Raleigh was only about 13,000 people?
Wow, it's grown a lot. Crest, do you have a message?
Our meditation garden is open. There are lots of sitting rocks and a bench in the shade for you to enjoy. In the last few days, the lotus buds have started to bloom and the flowers are beautiful. You should check it out. Dad, did you know that during the last children's meditation, we found a frog in the meditation garden?
Wow, there's a lot of life in the garden. Adam, do you have a message?
Yes. We are always grateful for your generous support to our temple. As a sustainer, any amount is deeply appreciated, or through your individual donations. On your way out, please notice our offering table. Thank you to those friends who have already shared your kind donations, and many thanks to those who will.
Guys, do you know why we are monthly sustainers?
Because Buddhism helps you keep your mind calm? Because we learn a lot from the Reverends?
Because it makes donating easier?
Actually, all those reasons are right. It's great to have an automatic donation because that way we can provide a dana offering, we can help support the temple, and we have one less thing to remember. So good answers, guys. And thank you all again for participating. Now let us bless each other with our morning prayer song on page 13.
Dharmakaya Buddha, fourfold grace, I begin a new day in your presence. Today full of health and with peace of mind, may I walk along the path of the Buddha. Dharmakaya Buddha, fourfold grace, I begin a new day with your praise. Today gratefully and with gentle words, may I live in harmony with all those I meet. Dharmakaya Buddha, fourfold grace, I begin a new day with compassion. Today making the world a more loving place. May I do all that I can for all.
Let us say thank you and bow to our friends next to us. waving hands, saying howdy to our online friends. 감사합니다.